How's it going? Matthew here again. Welcome back to Project 100. Today is day 64 of my challenge to my first 100K with trading. Welcome back. Today I want to be sharing with you guys what has happened the last 2 weeks. Just want to show you some notes that I have been collecting over the last week specifically that I didn't update you since then, and also want to show you the insight that I had to share in the mentorship call. It's a total of 13 days that has already passed with the mentorship. I've learned a lot of things and a very cool insight that I want to share with you. Maybe you can find some value in that for yourself, and maybe it's also a case for you in your trading journey that you once have to go through that experience. And I'm pretty sure every endeavor which requires the ability to become an expert in a specific skill to be successful requires that specific skill, which I'm going to get into right in a second. But to give you guys an update, so today is day 64. I haven't been trading for the last 10 days. The only thing that I have been doing is drills. Drills is essentially an isolated maneuver. You know that maybe from military exercises. It's an exercise which has a very high amounts of repetition in a specific variable. So you do drills in kicking the ball penalty. You do drills, that's for soccer. You do the drills for throwing the ball in football. You do a drill for throwing the three-pointers from a specific side. Drills you can do in everything, or like drills, 100-meter shots with a sniper, for the military example. But I have been doing this specifically for trading the fundamentals, which is the part of the beginning of 4 weeks, which is predefined before joining the mentorship. So essentially there is a game plan set out for every person through the mentorship from Karush that is saying at the beginning. So the first, I think, 6 weeks are preset for the drills, drill 1 to 6 essentially. And right now I'm in day 13 and I'm at the drill 5. I'm already working on drill 6. So I'm 13 days in and I've already almost finished entire drills, although I should take 6 weeks, or this is the minimum, should be the maximum. So I'm in very good conditions time-wise. Some could say I may be a little bit too quick, but I want to proceed. I want to make improvements quickly, and as long as the quality is set, and I do review myself, and I don't just half-ass it and just follow along because I want to skip the fundamentals. It's a cool thing to be with speed, or to be moving with speed. At least that has been something that I have been contemplating with myself. The balance between speed, but also the quality. The quality has to always be the anchor point. So you always have to come up from a point of trying to do it as good as possible. But I also realize that some things I will not realize perfectly from the beginning, and I cannot just do high quality. What I need is high amounts of repetition, and I'm doing that. And I can also get the repetitions by doing the drills themselves, but I can also get the repetition by reviewing those afterwards. So this is an important part as well. And to maybe share an additional information that I have been working through. So in my school community, as you can see here, I have my classroom section. I don't know if it's visible. Yeah, I have my classroom section, and there you can see my trading journal, my goals, and book summaries. And here I have been working on this ZCT mentorship program, which is essentially my notes on everything. And what I've been building is essentially, for every section, I've been taking a lot of deep dives, like for week 1, for week 2, for creating the strategy creation. This is now week 3. I'm gonna re-edit this. And then I also have like all the technicals I've been sharing, all the information, the psychological frameworks, the notes from the calls, unrelated things that are important to me. And also there were notes that I took before joining or during the onboarding process. And I have one section that I have to review for myself every single day. So I basically wake up, and one of the first things I do, I always go through the report card that I have gotten from my mentors, which is essentially at the beginning of the day. It's loading. The internet is quite bad right now. I don't know, I have some issues. But essentially, yeah, as you can see it right here, every day that starts, as you can see the top, October 25th, 26th, I have to write down what the plan is for the day, what actually happened is throughout the day. I'm noting that. And then the summary of the session, what I did well, what I did poorly, and how I'm going to improve tomorrow is the bottom one. And what has happened so far, I've been going through those like summary learnings at the bottom, and with those I've been like actively thinking, okay, what did I do bad yesterday? Let me do it better today. And this really brings in home the concept of 1% better every single day, which has to be set by specific conditions. You cannot just say, I'm going to try to be 1% better, but you have to set the environment and the specific systems to carry you to be 1% better every single day. So that has been something I have been working through the last week. And then all of those instructions are part of my daily report. So basically, I have like a checklist here where I check every single day the most important to-dos that I have to do, and goal is to essentially hit it as good as possible. As you can see, I started it off a little bit more sluggishly, but now the last 3 days, 4 days, you could say, I've been more accurate. And yeah, that has just been like the beginning momentum of the entire mentorship, and it's been going nice. I think I've been making improvements in the sense of being consistent with what the coaches have been giving me, and I've also realized that my identity is very close to the one I predefined joining the mentorship. So I told myself I want to be the success story, and so far until now I have pretty much done what I think in my expectations I should have done. I always over delivered value, which I think also as a mentee you have to be valuable to the mentor, so he realizes, okay, maybe he is potentially a good customer and potentially success story, let me put more emphasis into him. And that also brings in with value things like, what questions are you asking? Are you just saying, hey, it's not really working, please tell me what my problem is? Or are you actively thinking, trying to think with the mentors and trying to develop your own brain within this the whole system, which is essentially one part of the program. It's not just to develop you clicking the right buttons, but it's also developing your character. And that also comes in kind of with the insight that I had to share during the live call, which I also want to share with you guys today. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's from the 21st, so 5 days ago. Yeah, so I basically looked up a video, I think, or I don't remember. Yeah, it was actually Alex Hormozi podcast. Who would have guessed? He was actually doing a podcast with Impulsive, I think it's the name of them. It's, I think, Logan Paul, I think is his name, this blonde person that does like wrestling, I remember. And he did like a podcast with them, and he defined some words like he always does, and then he defined the word discipline. And he was going back and forth with the people, and I love this scramble they had together, where they're like, no, I think this is discipline, and Alex Hormozi is like, but I think this is I have to encounter, or like you have to end into equation, and then it was like a back and forth, and I found some very value into this, which was essentially camera. There we go. So discipline, as he defined, was the ability to do something over and over again without seeing immediate results. So doing a punishing event multiple times without immediate result. I think this was his wording. I think I also posted it on Instagram. Yeah, and that's kind of like one thing I really realized is I'm gonna be doing things. Shut up. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing these things in my life, but also in the mentorship, continuing that I don't really understand. Like, why am I even doing this? Like, this is bullshit. Like the drills. I have went through the fundamentals 10,000s of times. So there are some things you're going to be doing where you're not actually seeing the results immediately. And the learning for me there, through a little bit of meditation in my mind, thinking about that actively, is essentially what was my wording exactly? I don't have it noted here, but it was, you are going to be doing things that you're not going to see results immediately. So this is essentially the period where you're going to toughen the muscle, or trying to build the character of somebody that is disciplined, who is going through the shitty times, or through the unknowing, or through the, I'm not very sure if what I'm doing is right, and sticking through it without seeing immediate results. A lot of things that, like success, that are harder to achieve, require an immense amount of time where you don't know if what you're doing is right. You're going to judge, you're going to second guess your approach. You're going to second guess yourself multiple times all over again. And that's why the most people are giving up. So this just completely reframes my definition of boring, hard, and effortful to this is the price that I have to pay to get where I need. And this is extremely exhilarating and motivating to actually do the shitty things where you don't see the immediate results, because you know, okay, this is just the price that I have to pay to actually get to the point where I have to go to. Because the majority of people give up because they think, hey, I'm not doing the right thing, I should give up here. And it mostly is about the consistency of doing the meditation, about the consistency of filling out the journal without any flaws, but the consistency of reviewing every single day. And it's boring, and you're like, I'm not seeing any benefits from that. But over time, overdoing it for 1 month, you will see some results. And overdoing it for 1 year, there you will probably see a lot of results. And overdoing it over decades, you will probably see mastership. So yeah, that has been essentially my insight for this week, and that's been my Sunday. I'm gonna go eat steak now with the entire team. All the boys are concluded. Niels just flew in today, somewhere from around there. I couldn't actually see his fly because I think he was actually flying from the backside of Cape Town. This is the Lion Set and Table Mountain on the left side. This is essentially, like, if you look down there, it's like south. So the flights are coming from north, obviously, because south there is nothing. We're at the tip of Africa, so there is nothing below us. Yeah, from my side, I wish you guys all the best. I think it's a really nice time for me to be here to grow with this mentorship, and I hope all of you guys are like in a very, very interesting spot in your life and making cool learnings for yourself and killing it. I'm gonna see you next Sunday. If there is something to update you, I'm gonna update you on Instagram, and I'll keep you guys updated. And join my school, it's free. What are you doing?